Allison's here. So day three, yay. And this is all about self-image. But if you've joined me for a self-image call, this is a little bit different. This is what I take my mastery students with in their first, while they're going through the first lesson of thinking into results, because this is based on the law of compensation. And we're creating our economies, and so compensation is definitely a part of that. And whereas the overall self-image script is a much longer and more involved process, this is really focused on who we need to be to even start thinking about moving into a bigger economy and moving into um, a new way of kind of seeing how we plan our life almost, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. But Ryan, do you want to share a little bit about your takeaway from yesterday? You started talking and then I interrupted you.
Well, it was a fantastic time that we had, and I was impressed with the turnout. And because Monday's turnout was fantastic, yesterday's turnout was really great, and it still keeps getting better and better tonight. But I think really you already solved what I wanted to encourage happen in that start the recording. So, yeah,
Oh,
that was
that's
sort of,
all
I
you
was
want to talk about was recording?
not really, but I just wanted full disclosure. I wanted to keep things moving forward, just like you. And I know that, yeah. So, at any rate,
All right. Well, does anybody have any takeaways from yesterday going through your assignment of identifying a paradigm that you've got going on and then switching it to a new belief that you want to hold that's going to serve you moving forward, right? We can ask ourselves, is this thought serving me? Is this belief serving me? Is am I holding myself back by thinking this? One of the things you can say is this a limiting belief? Am I limiting myself in any way by believing this? Go ahead, Robin.
One of the paradigms that I've, as you say, been working at changing as I've been transitioning from being, well, now I guess I'm a retiree from the Navy, but I had always thought as an employee versus an entrepreneur versus a business owner versus, someone who really creates your own economy. Because, in traditional jobs or service, you know how much you'll make. You're an officer with so many years rank or whatever. So that's sort of given. It's you don't have to guess. It's published on all the websites and everything throughout the world. But now thinking different. Okay, so if I want better results than that, it's a shift, but I'm growing with it. Growing
Yeah.
with it.
Well,
Mhm.
and I don't think you're the only one because most of us probably had jobs at some point in our lives or still do, right? That we knew how much money was coming in every couple weeks, right? And we could plan around it.
Mhm.
We could budget. But
Correct.
um, when we're an entrepreneur, and sometimes we start out with this whole idea of let's just see if this works, right? But then when it starts kind of working, we think, oh, maybe I can earn this much, but we don't think bigger, bigger, bigger. But really, when you're planning an economy, you can plan much more. So let's say I was just creating an economy around one book, right? Well, that book, it pays me, every month I get royalties from it, but it's not going to run my economy for me. I'm telling you right now, but it is a piece of my economy. Some people have books, if they're Oprah, have books that pay them, but that's still not her only piece of her economy, is it? Oprah is her economy. She is the economy, right? And I want you all to start thinking in those terms. And as we move into this self-image, we're starting to think of ourselves, I'm the center of this. So it's not just a job, like you were saying, Robin. It's that's a piece of me. That's a piece of it, right? Jobs have places that we talked about this yesterday. Jobs have places in economies. They do, of course. But at the same time, if we if our self-image is wrapped up in being that employee, then we know what our cap is, we know what we're going to earn, we have this ceiling, and we're never going to break out of it. And our self-image can be bigger than an employee mindset for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. And you're right, it's a shift and it's on purpose, isn't it?
On purpose. On
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Yeah, I know.
Exciting.
Yep. Well, and it was developed in you for a long time. How long were you in the Navy?
27.
Yeah, yeah.
27 years. Yeah.
And so that was reinforced every year for 27 years,
hmm Correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to shift that, and it takes some time and it takes some effort.
It does.
Hmm. But it takes real intentional effort, right?
Mhm.
It's not force and it's not um, just acting for action's sake. It's really intentional belief shifting effort, which Wallace D. Waddle says is the hardest work in the world. So get ready. It'll be fun. Does anybody else have a takeaway from yesterday that they want to share? Hmm. Anybody? Anybody? Oh, here comes
Well,
Ally. Oh, yeah, go ahead,
I don't
Jenny.
know how to do the cute little hand wave, so
Oh,
I'll just do my real hand. But thank you for sharing that, Robin. I really enjoyed hearing you talk about the different, the different mindsets of being the entrepreneur, being the employee, and all of that. And yesterday after the call, I kept having a memory of a time when I was off doing my own business. I was at the very beginning of it, and somebody on a group chat shared how much money they had made in a week. And I was sitting here in Tucson, and I remember almost just falling out of my chair, being like, "Wait, what? You can make that much money?" I didn't know it was possible. And so I was thinking a lot about how yesterday, since like you don't even believe big enough because you don't know it's possible. And so how much I definitely would have held myself back because I would have been like, "Oh, well, this much that's more than I would have ever thought I could do, and that's enough." And then just by knowing that it was possible, that little carrot out there made me think, oh wow, like this is so much bigger than I thought it could be. And I think that a lot goes to like the programming that I grew up with, grew up without the mindset of having a lot of money. And so I've been thinking a lot about since yesterday the paradigm, what are those things that I was told that I believe that I don't realize that I am only believing because I was told them. And so that's what I've spent a lot of time thinking about like over the last 24 hours since yesterday. So,
yeah. Yeah. And I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, but um, it was still what they didn't think the way that I that I was just taught to think by Bob, right? They didn't they thought that it was still lots of hard work. And I'm not saying that this isn't hard work. I'm saying it's intentional, fun, enjoyable work towards what we want to create. And but for instance, my mom would even though my dad had his own business, my mom would always say things like for my brothers and sisters, she would say, "Oh, well, be indispensable at your job so you can't get fired," right? And I'm not I think it's wonderful that you should go above and beyond your and grow larger than your present place because that gives you more opportunities. But be indispensable so they won't let you go, right? And all of a sudden it's in somebody else's hands that they can let you go. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to create my own stuff. I'm going to do my own thing because um I have had jobs. I've had lots of jobs and I've always been indispensable and they've always been sad to see me go, but at the same time I was fortunate enough to never think that my job was the end of where I could go. And if you feel that way about a job for yourself, I invite you to think bigger and think that your job is just one piece of your economy. Because it's really important for us to, I'm sure all of us can think of people who were in, like Robin, were in a career for 27 years and then they retire and then they're like, well, I just don't know what to do with myself. But Robin, you embarked on a whole new journey and you opened up to a whole new world of starting a business and doing something completely different. And not everyone can shift that thought that quickly. And but I want you to know that you can with armed with the right material. You and support, right? And Robin, do you see that in retirees that you know that they're like, it's over and now what?
Well, I've seen a balance. So some of the other officers that have, retired, I know another young lady, she's doing a soap business out of Florida and she's enjoying it. And we talk, just to encourage each other and we just sort of laugh about, okay, well, did you think of this idea? Did you think of this idea? So, but it is nice to realize you don't stop living. And for me, mentally, I know I needed to do something because, towards the end of my career, I became a widow, so that was rough. And I just said, okay, Lord, I'm not giving up on life. And so just had some people that just kept speaking life into me, and that made all the difference. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. We're doing it. So
Yeah.
so it's been a joy. And thank you, Mary. And you're part of that journey too. Everyone
Oh,
just speaking life back into me. So it's been great. And
oh,
and you realize how much is out there, and when Pat had shared, about a week ago or so, you just jump, you just take a chance and things maybe you never did before, but you can do it. You can, and it'll come out great.
yeah. I love it.
So, yeah. So
Yay.
thank you. So all of you on the call here, thank you that have just encouraged me along the way. And
Oh,
if I can be of any encouragement, just keep going, keep learning like we're all learning. So just keep learning. We're just gonna keep
yay.
learning.
Well, you keep talking because you're encouraging.
Oh, that's so nice.
Let's see. Sherry
Uh,
says in the chat, since yesterday's meeting, I've had a constant reflection of my childhood, moments that stood out, memories popping up, like need to revisit the memories and the change the meanings. Ooh, I took from them because of these economy challenge me. Yeah. Yeah. And some of those things that come up as kids, we take them quite literally, or we're very emotionally involved with them, or we have an emotional reaction when we're children about certain things. And I know that I was talking to somebody earlier today, and she was telling me how her husband went through a really terrible accident and it shifted her and she completely her emotional reaction was to just move into action and be the central figure of their family because he couldn't make decision he couldn't even communicate verbally for a while, right? And so she said when she went into that she was pretty much like a 50s housewife, right? And he asked her opinions and he treated her like a queen, but he was the end all be all of the answer, right? And so when he had his accident, she had to step into that role. He couldn't even communicate. He was in the hospital for months. So she had to step into a whole new role. And then what I want to say about that is they had four kids. So those four children saw all of that happening. And like we were talking about yesterday, everyone has a different perception. So just because we all grew up in the same household, I have 10 brothers and sisters, we all grew up in the same house, we all have different perceptions of the same conversation that's happening right now, right? And so those four children that she and her husband had saw this happen. And so all four of her children are presidents of companies, are medical doctors, are high achieving types of people because they saw that there could be a problem at some point, right? So they were encouraged one way. Some people may be encouraged another way to be depressed, or there are different ways that people are going to perceive things. So Sherry, that's what that kind of brought up for me, was that everybody has a different perception of what's going on in the family dynamic at that time. And then that internalizes and then all of a sudden becomes that programming and that paradigm that we have to sort through now. Right? Yeah. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so that moves us into self-image. Now, what I want to start us off with is going back to that day one list that you've created of your personal wants and your professional wants. So if you look at that list, there should be lots of things on there that are either well, everything should be something that you want, right? And like we said yesterday, you're not committing to any of them at this point in time. You will in a couple minutes, but as you write this list, you're not committing to them. You're just writing down, oh, I would like that. Oh, I would like that. Oh, I want more money. Oh, I want, a new car. I want new shoes. I want to get my kid a horse, whatever, whatever it is, right? And so you start thinking about, oh, my life could be this, my life could be that. And start thinking outside the box, start thinking bigger. Like Jenny was saying, I almost fell out of my chair when I found out that you can make that much money in a week, right? And start thinking, what could happen? What could be possible? So take a look at that list and what take one or two from each of those lists, that personal list and that professional list, that you really want to focus on over the next year as a goal. Now, don't think in terms of necessarily economy at this point. We're going to do that tomorrow, but I want you to think about what do I want to focus on? What goal do I want to have at the end? If it's December 3rd next year, what do I want to have done? What do I want to have in my life? Could be a new couch. I don't care. I mean, it could be anything. But what is it that you really want? Because at what we focus on grows. And then what we can do is we begin to craft an economy tomorrow. But what we're going to start with today is having this goal, and then we're going to create a self-image around the person who thinks bigger and into the goal. Okay. Oh, thanks, Ryan. Was that yesterday? Which one is that one, Ryan? I didn't
Oh, I
send you.
just put in the whole book because
Oh, here, I'll give you today's. I forgot
yeah,
to
if
do
you the worksheet, I don't have the actual worksheet, but I
that.
just
Okay.
put the whole book in case anybody didn't have it yet.
There's day three. So day three's in there, and I'm actually going to share my screen so we can go through it a little bit. So implementation is going to happen all day today because we're going to go through it about and talk about the law of compensation. And so I'll just start here with the beginning. So we want to become the person who creates the economy that we want, right? So we want to become that person that thinks bigger, that knows that things are able to show up in your life, right? Your self-image is that blueprint. And it creates the boundaries of our accomplishments. It determines what actions we take. It determines the income we attract to us. It determines our confidence levels and how consistent we are in doing the daily work. It Our self-image really influences the decisions that we make and of course the results that we get, because our results are what we get by the actions we put out, and the actions are determined by the vibration we're in. We talked about that yesterday. So you will never outperform your self-image, ever. So I was a high-level gymnast, but I didn't think I was the best gymnast. I was just, I was not good at bars. I was not good at being, I was not a good competitor. I had all these doubts, but I was actually quite good. But I had these doubts running in the background. And so what happened was that I was really great in the gym and I was terrible at competition for a long time. And I would I would compete and I would get first place on everything and then I would fall off beam 5 times, right? I would totally self-sabotage. And that was because my self-image said I was not good at competition. I was good at workouts. I was good at practice. I was good in the gym. And so it didn't matter how good I was. If I didn't believe that I could show up as a competitor, I wasn't going to show up as a competitor, right? So your self-image is going to you're going to perform at that level of where your self-image takes you. So we clarified what we want on day one, right? You've made those lists. And yesterday we talked about what paradigms are holding us back. And so today we're going to bridge over that paradigm and create the self-image of the person that we want to become that can create this big economy. Because if we're in this, like Robin was talking about, an employee mindset, for instance, we have to shift that self-image. I'm an employee, but that's not who I am, right? That's just part of who I am. That's part of what I do, right? Today, we're going to get into that identity. And so, what we want to do is go to that list of wants and circle one or two from your personal list and one or two from your professional list that you want to just focus on for the next year. And whether it's writing a book, whether it's earning a certain amount of money, the how doesn't matter right now. The end matters right now. Okay. So there should be one or two on each of those lists that you go, oh, I really want that now, right? I really want that now. And it might be, you know what, this is the year. For me, for instance, I'm like, okay, we're going to do a podcast and we're going to write a book and we're going to do this, right? So I have all these things that I want to do. Um, and some of them might be clear indicators of what your economy is going to look like with those, like writing a book. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be something that brings in money towards my economy, right? But it's not the end of it. But if you want to earn more money, that's kind of nebulous. So your economy is going to be built around that big goal. If you want to write a book, that economy is going to be built around that book, right? So think about that a little bit as you pick your desire. So let's open it up for questions because oh, Sherry has three. Good. So make sure you ask any question because this could get muddy if you let it. So ask any questions like, should I do this one? Should I do that one? And I'll just preface by saying there's no should, right? We talked about shoulding on ourselves. There's no should. It's more, what do I want? What would I love by the end of next year? Sherry, do you want to share one of yours with us? You can have three. That's okay. Ooh, write the book. Yes. I love it. Yeah, write the book. That's good. Does anybody else want to share? You can either share in the chat or you can share out loud. It's fine. Either one. The fun thing about this is that the more that you think about it, you're going to find beyond this 5 days, you're going to continue to think about it and more ideas are going to show up and ways that you can implement it. I want to make more art for myself. Yay! I want to see that art. Sell one of my farms. Ooh, how many farms do you have? Two. Well, any in Arizona? Because Jenny and I could use one.
Mhm.
No. Oh, okay. Oh, fun. Okay, I love those. I love that. Good, good. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far about how to pick, maybe? We could be open to relocation. We could be. We could be, as long as it's green and not winter all the time. 100
Hey, I got,
collections in Etsy shop. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry, clear my throat. Is there such a thing as wanting too much? You
Well,
said pick
no,
one
there's
or
no such
two.
thing as wanting too much. Do you want it all in one year? You want it all right
Well, that
now?
makes,
Is there one goal? Let me ask you this. Is there one desire that's on your list that if you achieved it would kind of bring everything else together?
I had to revisit that. That's a great excellent question because when I ask about being doing too much, it makes my eye twitch. But yeah, I had to revisit that. But yeah, you mean like stairs or um, I forget how you
I'll
what you
give you
call
an
that way.
example. So if I earn, and we're gonna go big. If I earn $10 million this year, then I can buy the farm, I can buy the horse, I can um, buy the car, I can buy the house, right? You know what I'm saying?
I do
All
now.
of
I
those
do.
other things will fall into place.
Yeah.
So is there
Okay.
something on your list that's really big, that's super exciting, that if you get that, when you get that, you get everything else too?
Well, it falls with money. I think everybody else can agree with that. So if we have the money, we have the freedom. Um, but I'm also that I don't see in here. I need to write in there as far as helping other people, like being a part of this or being part of whatever. Just serving, like
Well,
you and Ron are doing right now. You're serving.
let me
Yeah.
tell you something. You can, is service your goal or is service a way to get to your goal?
A little bit of both, I guess, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Okay.
I
So,
just got to pick one.
yeah, you gotta pick one. There's a decision factor in this whole thing, right? Because we need to focus. And so, Bob would always say that the only way to reach your goal is to serve more people. So, inherent in your goal is service. It has to be, according to the law. And we're going to get into that with the law of compensation for real for in a couple seconds. But understand just because the the goal itself, it could be service, it could be serve 1 million people, right? And by serving 1 million people, you also get $1 million. That could be a thing, right? So you could say that if instead of a monetary goal, because sometimes people don't match up in their minds with monetary goals. It feels kind of icky sometimes, depending on your paradigms, or it can be very motivating depending on your paradigms. So if a monetary goal is, oh, I don't want to go after that because it feels like I shouldn't be focusing on money. And if that's kind of like fingernail scratching on a chalkboard, then but you still want the money and you know that you need to serve people to get there. Maybe, John, you're a real estate agent. Maybe you need to say, I want to sell 8 houses this year. Or I don't know. I'm just pulling numbers out of the air. But do you
Sure.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Is there a goal on your or a desire on either of your lists like that?
Um, yes.
Good.
Um,
Pick one.
yes. 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 Yes.
Hmm. And here's the thing about deciding. If you don't pick one, nothing's gonna happen. But if you pick one and it's the quote wrong one, guess what? You're still gonna get that and you can change and make it bigger. You can make your goal bigger. Sandy Gallagher, she was Bob's right-hand woman. She had a huge goal. I think it was a monetary goal. And then she also saw this house that she absolutely fell in love with that cost almost as much as her monetary goal. And she went to Bob and she's like, I want this house. And she goes, but it costs so much money. And Bob says, do you want the house? And she said, yeah, I want the house. And he said, well, when do you want it by? And she said, well, Christmas. And he said, okay, let's go. So what she did was kept her initial big goal and added this house on top of things. But, and guess what? She made both of them. But the fact of the matter is what I'm saying is when you pick something, it's not the end all be all. All those things are still on your list, John. They're still in there and they're still going to come. But if we don't focus our attention on something where our attention goes like this and our focus is nebulous, our actions are not aligned, and nothing really happens. So if I say I'm going to write, well, like Sherry says, I'm going to write the book, right? She decides I'm writing the book. Well, guess what? She's going to start doing stuff to get that book written. But if she doesn't decide to write the book, she could push it off for 3, 4, 5 more years. It could still be on her list, but she's not going to do anything about it, right? You have to decide. And don't be afraid to make the wrong decision. Remember, decide and then make that the right decision.
So basically, prioritize our three.
Yeah, go ahead. And those three things, we can you can go after three things at once, right?
That was my next question because I'm like, I got like 10 things here that I can't focus on all at once.
No,
So,
but focus on the thing that's going to bring the rest of those 10 closer to you,
okay,
right? hmm
sounds fair.
So, yeah, maybe you want to refinish your house. Maybe you want to buy a new car. Maybe you want to do a few things. And and a certain dollar amount is going to help you do that. So that's what I want. I want that certain dollar amount by the end of next year so I can get all the other stuff done. Right? That makes sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Anybody else have comment or questions? Ryan, did you see anything in the chat? Let's see.
A lot of common questions around, having multiple goals, and I think you were really kind of summing things up with John around, you know, picking the one that's going to get the most mileage. That was what I took away, but I was
Yeah.
also reading comments and commenting and um but yeah, that's the thing that I did in the beginning is I had so many things I wanted to do at once. And then I realized I just need to choose and make a decision on that. And it's funny how we get so enthusiastic about what we want and things that really excite us but scare us at the same time. And then once we get all of that out, we're like, now what? Where do I start? Where do I begin?
Oh,
And so there's been a lot of, good things in here. And I would encourage any of these folks that have been, putting their comments in to keep doing that. But also, um, if you're able and willing, get on camera and let's talk it through because you've got some.
well, Magna wants to do that. Go ahead, Magna.
Yay! Thanks. All right.
So my first question before I get to the goals is because I was reading somewhere when you set your goals, you set a goal which your mind would feel that it is realistic. Okay,
Mm.
right? If I am example like I'm earning like maybe $1,000, and if I say, oh, I want to have $1 million by next year end, okay, then probably my subconscious would not accept it completely. Okay, so that's what I was reading somewhere else. So what is your take on that? Like,
Well, my take on that is that your current programming will not accept it. No, you're right. However, what I teach is how to change the programming to accept it and to believe it and to get it. So that's what the self-image piece is that's why so many people set small incremental goals because they don't think that it's possible. Like Jenny said, she would have limited herself if she didn't know that that was even possible to earn a certain amount of money every week. She's like, "What? Are you kidding me? No way. Okay, I'm doing that." Right? And so what happens is that that possibility opens up and then we're like, "Oh, I can do that." So when we don't have that possibility or that example in front of us, we limit ourselves according to the programming that we've already got running, right? So the our self-image says, no, no, you're a C average student, Mary. You can't do it. You can't, whatever might be going on in the background, right? And saying, yeah, you could earn 5% more, 10% more, right? But I can guarantee you that if you think bigger, your mind will expand to that bigger space. If you think small, your mind will stay small. So we have to expand what might be possible, even if it's not quite yet believable to our subconscious. And then our subconscious, we train it to believe the bigger one. And I'll give you an example because Napoleon Hill, when Andrew Carnegie went to him to say, "Hey, Napoleon, I want you to spend 20 years researching the 500 most prominent people in the United States and write this the success principles." He wrote Think and Grow Rich, right? And uh, Andrew Carnegie gave him this affirmation to read in the mirror out loud. And he said, "Andrew Carnegie, I will not only exceed you, but I will meet you at the post." And I don't remember how exactly it went, but he would just essentially be richer than the richest man in the world, right?
Right.
And what he said was that, okay, Andrew Carnegie told me to read it in the mirror out loud to myself for 30 days straight. And he said, the first day I whispered it because I didn't want anybody to hear me. And I said it and I thought it was stupid. And then by day 15, I thought, hmm, this could happen. And he said, by day 30, I knew it was going to happen. And so what we need to do is understand that our beliefs, we can change our beliefs. We can change what's possible for us if we shift how we see things, if we shift those those paradigms that are holding us back up until now, because we do have infinite potential. We just have to know how to change the story we've been telling ourselves. So if you set the goal for $1,000, you're going to get $1,000. If you set the goal for $1 million, you're going to start acting like the person who needs to take the steps to do the $1 million work. And all of a sudden, guess what? Opportunities are going to show up. If you take steps towards $1,000, big whoop. If you take steps towards $1 million, guess what? Millions of dollars step towards you.
Yep.
So go for the million or more, whatever it is. Did that answer your question? The first
Yes,
question,
yes,
I
it
guess.
did. Yes, yes. So I think even so of course, what you spoke to John about, I got that essence as well. But now when it comes to like, of course, like earning certain amount and having better health and writing a book.
Hmm.
Okay, so do I put all the three or just pick one from that? Because I
No,
don't
keep them.
see them connecting.
Oh,
Um,
really?
I mean, yeah,
You're
I mean,
not
better
this
health is different than earning money.
you're not the healthy person who has plenty of time to write this beautiful book and also earn this money.
I am, yeah, but
Oh, okay.
like
I
when
thought you
I
were. So why so here's what's beautiful about this process is that we find these things that we really want to do. And then tomorrow we map it out and we think, okay, so what do you want to write your book about? Do you know?
it's about just simplifying wellness
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
women because there's so much going on around on social media and the hypes and about everything, every new thing that comes up. So
And
I want to simplify because health is not about complicating or overwhelm. It's about just simplifying it, staying happy, and doing things that you love.
right.
Yeah.
And so what's your membership about?
Membership is again about I'm gonna have like a membership portal where everything is in one place. So it would be like the mindset, how about nutrition, about the workouts, and simplifying it again. You don't
Hmm.
need to
Sounds
have
like your
fat
book and
bands.
your
You don't
membership correlate with each other.
kind of, but probably the membership would have more videos
Well, that's
and
okay. That's okay, but your
yeah,
book and your membership are definitely correlative for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and one can and lead to the other, and the other can lead to the other. And you, as a person who's espousing this information, is living it. And so you're automatically getting healthier as you go, right? And so, yes, all three do it, right? Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they connect. They connect. Here, and here's the thing, you guys, I can find connections, believe me. I've been doing it for a long time. Does that help, Magna? Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Perfect. Does anybody else have any questions that you want to ask before we keep moving in the law into the law of compensation here? Let's see. Anybody? Okay. All right. So we'll have time for questions a little bit at the top of the hour, but I want to make sure that we get through the law of compensation because um, Earl Nightingale shared the law of compensation with Bob, and it's the amount of money you earn is in direct correlation to the need for sorry, it's in direct relation to your service, essentially, the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. So that sounds like that's up to somebody else in the sense that the need for what I do, right? Does somebody need what I have? And then the how good you are at it, well, that actually is up to us. How good am I at it, right? And then the difficulty there is in replacing you. Well, are people going to miss me when I'm gone? I don't know, right? So these are really important pieces, but what I want to go to do is we understand now that belief is so, so important. How we see ourselves is so, so important. And so we have to believe that the need for what we do is important. We have to believe that we're the best at what we do. We have to believe that we are so difficult to replace. Nobody can do what I do in the way that I do it, right? So, what you'll do with this short-term self-image script is, of course, begin with, I am so happy and grateful now that, because you're happy and you're grateful that this is your life now at the end of 2026 and all of this is done and it's beautiful, right? So you put your goal in there and then you write a little paragraph about what you're willing to do in service, and that's John, there's your service part, your service to others that follows the law of compensation to cultivate your beliefs about what you're setting out to do. So, the need for what I do. Do you believe what you're doing is worthwhile? You know, John, you're a real estate agent. What you do is important. People need houses. You the need for what you do is there. You have to believe that it's important, right? You don't have to sell houses to be important. The need for John Corpus, you're writing that beautiful book about near-death experience and how to inspire, right? And so the need for what you do, you have to believe that's an important piece, right? Yeah, I believe it's important, but it doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what you believe about yours, right? So then the need for what you do, you have to talk about how important it is that you're doing what you're doing. And then your ability to do it. You are the best at what you do. Now, this isn't competition. This is I am putting my best out there every single day. Your best. Bob says that to be a real pro, you're at your best regardless. And keep this in mind, and I learned this the hard way in gymnastics. Your best isn't the same every single day. Did you know that? There's a law of rhythm, and we go up and down, and we have good days and bad days, but we can do our best every day. So, my ability to do it, I am at my best every single day. I do what I do the best every day, whether that's serving clients in a certain way, whether that's giving a speech on a dais, whether that's selling a house, whether that's selling a car, whether that's teaching children, what doesn't matter what it is. You have to believe that you are giving your best. Does that make sense? And then the third piece, the difficulty there is in replacing you. Well, we talked about this earlier on Monday. You are unique. There is no person on this earth that has your combination of talents, interests, and experiences. Look at all your brothers and sisters if you have them. You're all different. I am certainly different than all of my brothers and sisters. There's a lot of us, right? Nobody can do what you do in the way that you do it. But it doesn't matter if I say it. You have to believe that about you. So these three things are beliefs that we need to cultivate in ourselves. And Magna brought up that idea behind, well, if I don't believe it, how am I going to do it? Well, teach yourself to believe it. And there's only two ways to do that. One is an emotional impact. Maybe somebody has a heart attack and then they start eating better or something like that. That's an emotional impact. Or constant spaced repetition. That's why we're creating this exercise, is so we have something that we can repeat to ourselves, like Napoleon Hill did. He read it in the mirror, said it 30, said it in the morning and at night every single day for 30 days, or until you believe it. I'm going to add that caveat, or until you believe it, because it might take longer than 30 days, depending, right? And then the next step, who are you willing to become? So describe some of the thought habits and the physical habits that you need to develop and the character traits that you need to hold in order to reach that goal. So, for instance, if you're a procrastinator up until this point, tell yourself, I'm a mover and a shaker and an action taker. That's what I do. I move and I go and I get an idea and I execute my ideas, or I finish what I start. Some people start stuff everywhere and never finish anything, right? A lot of people who start books and never finish those. Believe me, I've met them. But you have to describe those habits that you need to have instilled in yourself. And only one person can do that, and that's you. So what are the thought habits also? So maybe up until this point you've been kind of dogging on yourself saying, well, you get up too late and you're telling yourself how, you're lazy or whatever it is. Who knows what the mental chatter is? Everybody has mental chatter going on. So sift through that mental chatter and what habits of thought do you want to be natural to you? Does that make sense? So you want to decide, what do I want to think about myself? What would be empowering thoughts to think about myself? Oh, you can do this. You are the best at what you do. Are you kidding? You're so good, right? And then we need to, and this isn't going to be very long. Mine is only, a paragraph, but type it up, print it out, and it should be less than a page or so. Mine is like I said, a paragraph, and then keep it with you throughout the day. And then you can also incorporate it into your day. Like I said, constant spaced repetition is the key to changing those beliefs about ourselves. So I do this. I handwrite it actually twice a day. I handwrite this paragraph twice a day with my goal on it and who I am and all the great things about myself. And then when I meditate on it and I think about who I am at that as this version of me. Um, these are, you don't have to do all of these things. These are just suggestions, but we want that repetition because the more you think about it, the more you focus on it, the more you'll find that you have opportunities to prove that this is who you are now. You can show up as this new version of yourself. Every time you think a thought, guess what? You can practice. Allison and I talked about practice today. You can practice thinking, the better feeling thoughts, right? You can practice better habits. You could read it every 2 hours. Think about this as a brand new baby, right? What do you do with a brand new baby? Well, you feed it every 2 hours. Well, Robin, no, she just has a new grandbaby. Right. Yeah. You feed the baby every 2 hours. So what are you doing with this? You're nurturing a new belief. And Napoleon Hill says if when ideas first come to you, that's when you need to nurture them. Otherwise, they become stillborn. We don't want that. We want them to be nurtured. So the more you repeat them, the more they'll be nurtured. So if you repeat it and read it to yourself every 2 hours, it's like you're feeding a newborn baby, right? You could record it and listen to it. You don't have to listen to it every 2 hours. You could. You could listen to it a couple times a day. You could also print multiple copies and have them in different places. Maybe you had a workstation, maybe on the end table at your bed, whatever, in the bathroom. I don't know, wherever you go. You can have it at your fingertips. But this is really a helpful piece that will be very tailored to your upcoming year. Okay. Does that help? Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that? I like that. Start somewhere. Just start. Kendra. I like that. Um, that's the start of the snowball. Yes, I love that. That is the start. And here's the thing, the start is what stops most people because you just don't know how to get going. But you're right, there is a snowball effect. Once you get going, the momentum happens and then it just keeps going. And then you guys, when you start moving towards your goal starts moving towards you. And that's a fact. What if you're standing in a mirror and you're looking at yourself and you take a step forward, what does your reflection do? Takes a step forward, doesn't it? You don't get farther apart, you get closer together. It's the same concept because this is equal and opposite, right? You're attracting it. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Comments, concerns. This is kind of all implementation today, so hopefully that was helpful.
I do, of course.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, John.
I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, so I'll be real quick. As far as getting the self-image script together, is there, as far as condensing that into a goal card, can we use our self-image script to condense it into a goal card that we could read, pull out of our pocket like Bob
Yeah.
said?
Like this?
That's it.
Yeah.
So does it have to? I mean, I'm trying to be too
You don't have to. Okay, here's the point of a
over
goal card. The point of a goal card is to carry it. It's an easy little thing to have in your pocket or in your purse and remind yourself of your goal. Because the more we think about it, the more it grows. The more we think of different ways it could happen and we think of different opportunities and we think, oh, I got to talk to that person or whatever it is. So your goal card doesn't have to have every single detail on it. It needs to be the headline. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So you could say I did this. Let's see. I have a short-term goal on one side and I have my long-term goal on the other side. So That's the advanced goal card way to do it. But
Yeah, I only have
um,
one-sided, so maybe I need to change that.
oh, well, you can just put another one in back to back, and that's what I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well, that'll work.
oh, there you go. It's not rocket science, but what you do is you say, here's the sum of money I want in the next year, and through my businesses or through my economy, and I am so happy and grateful now that, of course, that starts the whole process that I have earned X number of dollars through my business, and it is fantastic. Put some feeling word in it, and then go, yay, it's done, right? It is done. And the date, I always write or sooner underneath. And Sherry asked, is it good to say this amount or more? Heck yeah, it is. Yeah. You don't want to limit yourself to $1 million if you'll take two, right? I'll take two. Yeah, double it. Magna, so this is basically a part of the larger self-image script we have. Yeah, yeah. So this self-image script is actually a piece of my big, huge 12-page one. And so this is the piece that I write every day. I don't write 12 pages every day. I read 12 pages every day throughout the day, but I write this paragraph because this is what I'm really focused on. Okay. Allie, phone screensaver. Yes, yes, yes. Put it on your background on your computer, whatever it is. Alarms, reminders. I have a reminder on my phone on the half hour, and that is just for me. It says, tell you right, it says hourly check-in, and that comes up. And so I check in. I see who am I being right now? Am I being her that I want to be, or am I being her who I am now? Right? So it just reminds us to go, where am I? What energy am I coming from? What am I broadcasting to the world? Am I telling everybody through my thoughts and feelings and actions that I'm this 2026 version of me, Mary 2.0, or am I Mary 1.0 right now? Right? I'm really good at Mary 1.0. I want to practice getting Mary 2.0, right? I'm already trained for Mary 1.0. Let's see. Does anybody have any other questions that I can answer? I'd be happy to. If you need clarity, no. Do you think this is going to be fun? Or is it going to be hard work? Yes, fun. Oh, good. Okay, good, Sherry. I like it. She's like, yeah, she's dancing. Both. Robin says both fun and scary in equal parts. Yay, yeah, that's okay. You know what Bob says? If you set a goal and you're not just a little bit nervous about it, you set the wrong goal. hmm And that's why I knew that we needed to close the gym. Did you know that? That's why I decided to close the gym, talking about economy, was it wasn't it wasn't COVID. I mean, I was mad at COVID, and you all know that story. But the fact is that I had done it before. And I had spent so much time now with Bob that I said, I've already done this. I'm going to spend 10 more years doing the same thing. I think it's time to stop, right? Let's go bigger. Let's go better. Let's see where let's see where we can go. And now I met Jenny because of it. So there. So there you go. And actually I met all of you people because of it. So thank you. And ooh, Magna's excited. Good, good, good. So if you have any questions that come up, let me know. Reach out to me. You can send me an email. You can send me a messenger chat. You can do whatever you feel um, you need. And I'm here to help you because sometimes it takes somebody from the outside to go, oh yeah, you can do that. Kind of like with Magna, right? She's like, these aren't even connected, but you know what? They are. They really are. Just because you're not saying exactly the same thing in your membership as you are in your book, they're still connected. Because what's beautiful is that you're the center of your economy. And you are the thing that connects them all, right? And we'll be going deeper into that tomorrow. All right. Happy to answer any questions if you have them. Go big or go home. I need to leave. Okay, bye, Pat. Oh, I hope you sell your farm.
I have a buyer.
What did you say?
I do have a buyer.
Oh, well, look at that.
I
See?
just got to make up my mind if I'm going to do it.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you?
Well, I figured I might as well sell it and spend the money instead of worrying about leaving it for family.
Oh, there you go.
I paid for it, might as well enjoy it.
Yep, do it.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Thank you so much. If you don't have any questions, I'm here. If not, ta-ta. Bye, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll get into that economy.